The Swiss brand EPOS, or EPOS, I'm not sure exactly how to say it, is not very well known, especially here in the United States, but I think they're worth getting to know a little bit better because it seems like they make some pretty cool and some really high quality watches. And I have one of them in for review. This is the EPOS 500m diver, the 3441DD. This one is a black and yellow variant, and it's a pretty cool piece. It's kind of a hodgepodge of some other well-known watches. You'll see that in the video today, but it seems like a quality piece, and I'm excited to show it to you in today's video. Let's check it out. All right, here it is, the EPOS 3441DD. I'm going to jump right into the specs and features of this watch. You can see the model number there. The movement that is being used is a Sellita SW240. We'll talk a little bit more about the movement in a second. Crystal is a domed sapphire crystal. Case material is stainless steel. Case diameter is 42.8 millimeters. That's at the bezel. The bezel overhangs the case ever so slightly. Case thickness is 14.5 millimeters. Lug to lug distance is 51 millimeters. Lug width is 25.2, but there is no real standard lug opening here, so I'm measuring at the points at the ends of the lugs right here to get that 25.2 measurement, and it does taper down to about 19.8 down here toward the clasp. The band material is stainless steel as well. This is a 500-meter water-resistant dive watch. The weight is 203 grams with all of the links, and the MSRP price on this watch is $1,723 US. So it's not a cheap watch by any means, and there are a lot of options for watches at this almost $2,000 price point. So that's something to consider when you're looking at a watch like this. What are my initial thoughts about this piece? I think it's a quality piece. You can tell when you hold this watch and you spend some time with it that it's solid. And it has some unique features, but also it takes some design language from some other well-known watches, which we'll make mention of in this video today as we go through this review. It's got some heft, it's got some presence to it, but it felt fine even on a wrist like mine, a 6.5-inch wrist. So it wears well for even being a hefty piece. Let's talk about the case. I don't think you can look at this case right here without mentioning the Oris Aquis. It's almost exactly the same with the integrated style bracelet, the lugs that are here, and the case shape. Very, very similar. Now, the surfaces here on the case are mostly brushed, as you can see, and the brushing is done nicely. There is some polishing on the sides of the lugs that are here, which follows all the way down the bracelet. I think that's kind of a cool thing. The screws in the lugs here are also polished. The crown is polished. Some of that bezel is polished, but most of the case is nice brushing surface. It's definitely finished well, and there is a helium escape valve on the right side of the watch over here, and the case back is an open case back, as you can see, and it shows that Sellita SW240 movement, and that movement is a 26 joule movement, power reserve of 38 hours, vibrations per hour is 28,800, and it has a day and a date, and it's got a nice quick set feature as well with that day and date, which I hope to show you here in a moment. The crown here on this watch is very large, as you can see. It's about an 8mm crown. It's well protected with the crown guards that are there. It's signed, it's of course screw down, and it functions well. I'm going to unscrew it And let's see if I can show you the nice quick set date change that is here on this watch. So I'm going to try and bring it to 12 o'clock, and I'm not sure if it's AM or PM. We're already at 12 almost, so it might change here. There it is. Did you see that? Very, very quick date change. I really enjoy that with the Solita movement on this watch. I think they did a good job. So that is really, really satisfying when it changes that quickly. I really enjoyed that. All right, let's continue on to the bezel here. The bezel is a ceramic material. And of course, you can tell it is that Yachtmaster style with those raised numerals and the indices that are there. There is a loomed pip, as you can see at the top in that triangle. And this is a 120 click bezel. It feels fine, you know, not the best, not the worst that I've felt. And no real back play. And it lines up well right at the top there. My favorite part of the watch is the dial. I do have to say, I enjoy the full day that is there in between the 9 and the 12. I think that is very unique. I think it's pretty cool. You probably won't see it on any other watch, and so I like that about it. I don't think it looks bad, and I think it brings something very unique to this watch with just the placement of the full day. You get large numerals and nicely applied indices as well on this kind of sand-blasted textured dial that you can see here. It's supposed to be kind of a black, but it comes more in like a dark gray color, but it all goes together really well. You get some yellow accents with some text on the dial. Of course, the second hand and the minute hand are yellow as well. You get some yellow printing also on the minute track on the outside of the dial, and just a good looking dial in my opinion. Very legible, and of course the handset. Here comes another similarity from another well-known watch. That is the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer handset, if you didn't know, and you can see that it's basically the same handset. Nice handset, no doubt. I do like that style. But the dial, really, really good. I enjoy the dial a lot on this watch. There is Lume here, and so I'm going to shut the lights off and we'll check the Lume. All right, here's a quick Lume shot after charging it up. Just briefly, I could not find any information on what Lume exactly they were using here, but it seems like it's possibly a BGW9. So looks like it's a pretty good healthy application, and it's glowing pretty good. The bracelet here on this watch is a solid stainless steel bracelet. Again, it's kind of like an integrated style lug system here. You can't really just change it with any other strap. You have to buy a strap that fits with these lugs, and I'd be interested to know if Oris Aquis bracelets and straps would fit this very watch. I wonder if it's exactly the same. I don't know. But a nicely finished bracelet, brushed in the center, and then just a small outer beveled edge is polished here. My gripe with the bracelet is that it is using a pin and collar system. I did adjust the bracelet. It took me some time. I am not a fan of pin and collar. It is a pain to adjust. It was a little difficult for me to get a good fit with this watch. Part of the reason is because there's no real micro adjust here. You just get two. Now there is a dive extension, but that extends it quite a bit, more than 2 links really when you open that up. So I found it was a little hard to get a good fit with this watch, and that pin and collar system is a pain. So keep that in mind. Milled clasp. The buckle here is a little generic, as I mentioned in my unboxing video. That is a gripe for me. I would like to see something a little more unique on a watch with this price point. So having said that, let me jump back in front of the camera and I'll share my final thoughts about this EPOS dive watch. Well, I enjoyed my time with this EPOS 500-meter diver. It seems like a quality and well-built piece. It's definitely a rugged watch, and the build quality is very good. I do think it is a little pricey for what it is, considering some different things, especially that clasp that is on here. For an almost $2,000 watch, I think it should have more of a unique clasp, not something just generic, and it definitely should have better on-the-fly adjustments, whether that's more micro adjusts or having a ratcheting type system in the clasp like a lot of companies do. Something like that really goes a long way. And also, I would love to see screw pins in a bracelet like this. The bracelet is nice, but that pin and collar system is always such a pain to try and adjust. So those are some of my gripes that I have with it. Again, this is a hodgepodge, a mixture of some well-known watches, so if that bothers you, this might not be the watch for you. But again, seems like a solid and a quality piece from this Swiss brand EPOS or EPOS. I want to hear what you guys think down below, and maybe someone can help me in pronouncing the name correctly. I want to know what is the right way to say this brand name. So if you know, leave that down in the comments below, and please let me know what you think about this piece. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Just share all your thoughts down below. I'd love to interact with you down there. And please give this video a like. It really helps out the channel, and we always appreciate that. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for stopping by to the Town Watch. We'll see you next time.